Hi there, it's Karen here from Turquoise Treasures. I'm back today to do a little booklety thing for my bird journal. Although it's not going to be particularly birdy, I don't think. It's going to be more naturey. So this is what I'm going to make. This is one of the Cori Dahmen flip flaps and folds series. This is like a flip up booklet, I've called it. And it's number 16, Flips, Flaps and Folds number 16. I will try and link the video below so that you can see how she made her original one. I've made, what I quite often tend to do is I make the first one exactly the way they make it. And then if I make any others, I adapt it to what I want that one to have in it. So this is the original. I haven't really decorated it or anything because it's just my prototype. So I didn't do that. So this is how it looks from the when it's closed. It's got a little closure here. It just flaps, as you probably just saw just now, and it opens like this. There's a pocket here and a little pocket here, which is made with, this is tracing paper, but you could use vellum. I'll probably use vellum today. And then this one flaps up, and there's a writing space on this flap. And then there's a piece of tracing paper here, which then flips open and you can do what you like here. I'm going to change this in the one I'm making today. I'm going to do something slightly different. So that's basically it. It's quite a nice little thing, and it's quite thin, although it hasn't got any journal cards or tags in it at the moment. So that's it. It's got washi tape at the sides. That's how it's been sealed up, all using washi tape. Then I have made another one for my wedding journal, which looks a little bit different. It's a little bit, no, it's the same size. It just looks a bit wider. Obviously I've laced it up a bit as you'd expect. There's lace here. I've used a little double heart thing as my closure. Again, this is using the Stamperia pad that I've been using for a lot of my pieces. I think it's Ceremony, which is a most beautiful pad. As you know, you can see it's got gorgeous lacy bits, and it's really lovely. And then when you open it, so whereas this one, I've done all my, as Cori did, I've used, washi tape for all of the joins. Oh, excuse me. All the joins have been using washi tape. I thought I didn't really have any washi tape that worked in the wedding journal anyway, really. So I have used some light fabric, and so along the sides for joining here and across the top and down here is a very thin cotton. So it's very light. It's just as thin as the washi, because you put it on both sides. And I like that look. I think it just makes it a little bit more. It's a little bit more decorative, and it just has just a plain white cotton there. And then I've got the flip up that I've done here with the writing space. I've stamped memories on there, I hope you can see. And I just did a couple of corner punches just to make it a little bit more decorative for that flip up piece, as you can see. So you could still decorate that, but I thought I'd leave some of these spaces, be quite nice to put photos on, and that was what I had in mind for the if I use this tissue of vellum, I'm not sure. I think this is still tissue that I've used here. And whereas it was washi tape in the other one, I've used some lace and a bit of fabric, lace to cover the joins, I think, and a bit of fabric there. Flip that aside. I put happy couple up here, so then you could put a nice little picture here of the happy couple. I thought that might be quite a nice thing to do in the wedding journal. So that's the small changes I've made for this one. And again, we've got a pocket here and a little, I think this is vellum, little vellum pocket here. So then you can see all the pretty design of the on here. I haven't inked it or anything. Could do, and I probably will in this one, but I don't tend to do a lot of inking in the weddingy one. So that's this one, and I really like that, and I think it's really pretty. I haven't yet put anything in these. I will put probably a journaling card or a tag and a small journaling card here. I've got to sort that out yet when I finish making everything. I will put those in there. Mustn't forget to do that. So there we are. So then that just closes. Just got to make sure it lays flat, and then it closes like that. And then I just put a little label on the front saying happy together. So that's just a nice little weddingy one. So that's the two I've made. I'm going to put them over here. Although I need to keep this one handy, just in case I need to refer to it. So what I'm going to use to make this one is this gorgeous paper pad, Stamperia again. It's called Spring Botanic. And I have used bits of it already. It's already in pieces for other projects. So I just thought I'd show you the one I'm using. I just love all of these pages. They're just gorgeous. I think the only problem I have with this paper pad is there's an awful lot of bugs in it. And I know like some people like bugs, but I'm not a big fan. So if it's got a big bug like that in it, or these journal card, these tags, spider and bugs, I'm probably not going to use those. But paper on the other side is really pretty, so I might use that. It's actually the same as that. So, and there's still a few more that I haven't used, but I think I'll probably avoid using anything too bug related. There's one whole page of bugs in here somewhere as well, which is a bit of a shame because you don't get a huge number of double pages in these pads, and this one's all covered in bugs, so I'm not a big fan again. So I will just pick the bits I want to use, but I've picked out the pages I want to use for this. Oh, don't know where that came from, how I ended up with a bit of another pad attached to the bottom there. Alright, so I've got the bits. Hopefully I've prepared everything that I'm going to need for this little project. Lost one of my cards now. Oh no, there they are. Okay, so what I'm going to use, what you can do, and in her video she shows you can make the whole thing out of a single sheet of 12 by 12, but I think I might bring in another one for the flap up. I haven't quite decided, so I better get started. I've got my measurements here, and you need to cut the whole thing, the piece that you want, at 7 inches. So I'm going to start that first of all, so you end up with a piece that's 12 by 7. So I'm going to do that. Bit tight for space here, but I think we'll manage. Actually, I've got it in the wrong way round, haven't I? I want this end to be at 7 inches. Make sure that's properly locked into place. Okay, get it into position and cut it across. Right, so then you need to cut a 5 inch, a 5 inch. Now, yeah, it doesn't matter which way you cut. You can cut it from this side or from this side, but because I want my front cover and back cover to be these bits, this can be the flap. And I like that because it's different. It'll be a bit of a contrast. So I'm going to cut the first one at 5 and the next one at 5, and then I'll end up with two 5 by 7 inch pieces and one 2 by 7 inch piece. Okay. It works quite nicely because you get the whole of the flower in there. And cut this one at 5. And then this will be my flap. Right. Just trying to remember how she did this because I it's been a while since I made it really. Okay, so the idea is you have front page and back page like that, and then you have your flap, so it could be either there or that way, but I think I'll have it like that, and I'll probably put a piece of something down here just as a bit of decoration, so that's quite nice. And that flaps open. So what we have to do first of all is join these two pieces together. Now what Cori uses, and it so happens I have some as well, just by luck, is this purple low-tack tape. And she uses that to keep her pieces in place, which I think is a really good idea. So that when you're adding your washi tape, just do a few pieces, it keeps it in nice and still while you're adding your washi tape. So just tear off a few pieces. So get that lined up there. Stick that there. And stick that one there. And then this piece, just have a little tiny gap between the two to allow for movement. Pop that there. And that one there. Just keeps it in place. Now I've got to decide which washi I want to use. I've got a little selection out. I think I might use this one for the inside. Not that one. No. That might work on the outside. I'll have to see. Colours might work better because the colours are totally different on the outside. But I think this one works quite well in here. I'm just going to cut it. Oops, scissors. I know I shouldn't have put them away. I'm going to put a bit of extra glue on the washi, even though I'm sure it's quite good, quite nice and sticky. But it's always good to make sure when you're using it for the join, it's good to make sure it glues in nice and firmly. Just push it through. Oop. Right. Take that down. It's nice and firmly in place. And then do the same on the other side. Take these bits up. So I'm hoping I get this done in one go today, in one video. But if it looks like it's going to go well over the hour, then I may have to make it into a two-parter again, which sorry I keep doing two-parters, but I want to get these things done properly, not to cut corners to get it finished, so I'm afraid it might just take a little longer. Right, so I've got that piece. Let's put the, so I've got to washi tape the other side as well. Let's see. Keep it nice and straight. Just hold it in place again. Right, which washi are we going to use? I'm wondering about this one because it's quite nice. It's got sort of variety of colours in. I can find the end. That's always... Normally washi's quite easy to... Oh, there we go. It's not like sellotape, or sticky tape, which can often be very difficult to get the end. Washi is usually not too bad. Let's see how that looks in that position. Not quite. Yeah, I think that might be all right. Let's cut a piece of that. Make sure it's... Ooh. I think it's going to be just about long enough. And that through the glue again. So I've had quite an interesting morning so far. I had a very early appointment over at the hospital for my pre-assessment for my surgery again, for the second time, because they do these pre-assessments, but they're only valid for 3 months. And I don't know if you remember, I had it done previously last November. And they did all the checks and the ECG and the blood tests and the... Oh, what else? I'd had an MRSA swab. Blood pressure test. Whole load of... Basically, they give you a health check. That's what it is. They just give you a full-on health check just to see if you're fit for surgery. But that only lasts... It's only valid for 3 months, so... Who knows if I'll have to do it again. They seem to be fairly hopeful that this time I should be called in within the 3 months, but we just don't know, depending on the situation. As regards, the usual things the thing that's been going on. So yeah, there seems to be a bit of optimism about that. This time it might actually happen. So we've just got to keep our fingers crossed. I have mixed feelings about it because I'm quite nervous about the surgery, really. It's quite a major thing to have done. Total, they're going to just replace or repair. They call it shoulder replacement revision. I've just got to make sure I get this the right way around. So I want to wrap it around that way. So I've got to go that way. Yeah, so they're basically repairing the replacement that was already there, which is now pretty much falling apart. It's over 25 years ago I had it done the first time, so these things don't last forever. It's lasted me pretty well, although it's been giving me trouble for quite a while now. So it is time I got it done. But doesn't mean I'm not quite nervous about the whole thing. Just want to get that, make sure that's straight. Don't think that's quite lined up correctly. Let's bring it in just a touch. Okay, right, we'll use this one again. It's quite handy because it's broken up into sections. You can sort of just say, well, I'll just cut it off at that section. So there we go. And very kind. My husband was supposed to be working when I had my appointment, but he insisted on taking me, bless him, because he knows that driving these days, driving for me is a little bit more difficult because of my shoulder. I can do it, and I probably could have gone, but he said, no, I'll take you. Then you haven't got to worry about parking. And that was really nice. Nice not to have that bit of anxiety that I was going to have trouble parking when I got there and things like that. I like this ticket washi. I haven't used it very much. Okay. Make sure it's just firmly attached. Right, let's take these bits off. Turn it over. Do it again. Oh, I think I'll just trim off the bit of the excess washi up here. Am I going to use this one again? I think I will just because it matches, although I think the other one looks quite nice too, but just to keep it in keep it the same. I could always cover it up afterwards anyway, if I felt like it. Right, make sure it's nice and, not that it matters so much because it's already, you know, it's already stuck down, but just to keep it in place. And glue up my washi again. I do love these Stamperia paper pads. I just wish there was more just double-sided papers. That you get an awful lot of tags and journal cards and embellishments, and sometimes you just want paper, double-sided. You know, just a design on both sides, but never mind. Just have to make making use of some of the tags and journal cards anyway. I think I will use them in this. There we are. Right, so that. Might be able to use these again. Let's trim. Let's just put the lid on this before I forget. It's not winding down for some reason. Oh well, just cover it then. There we go. Okay, just trim these bits off. Oh, they're not lined up very well, have they? Never mind. Obviously I didn't put that on terribly straight because it's lined up perfectly on this side but not at the bottom. Oops. Oh well. Hopefully it won't notice. So, fold like that. I've just remembered that we just need to trim just a slither off here so it doesn't catch when you... I might use my smaller trimmer. That one, it's a bit big when you're trying to do it on camera because it's gets caught up with the leg of the tripod. Right, I'm just going to trim off, I don't know, 1 millimetre, just so that it doesn't catch when the in the closure. Let's try that. There we go. That's nice. I'm just wondering if I put this on upside down, but I think we're okay. I think it is the right way up. Oh. Okay, so that's the outer cover. Seems quite wide, this piece. I am almost wondering whether to trim that off a bit. I don't know whether I need it to be as wide as that. Let me have a look, see how wide this one is. Yeah, it is the same. It just looks, maybe if I round the corners it'll seem less wide. I don't know if I need it to be, but I will leave it as it is for now. I may change my mind and just trim off this bit at a later date, but in the meantime I'm just going to round the corner. Maybe that will just softens it a bit. Does that round it properly? I think so. Okay. So I may still just take this piece off. I feel like I don't know if I like that brown that edge. Is that going to be sufficient? I think it will be. I'm going to leave it for now because once it's got things in it, it may need a bit more. I may need a bit more here to go around it, and I'll decide at the end. Right, so the next thing to do is the flap that goes down here. So I've got all my measurements, and I will also try and remember to put the measurements underneath the video. So I need a slightly smaller piece to flap down, and I've got a size here. 6 3/4 by 4 7/8 is what I've written down. So 6 3/4, so not as long, but actually I think that might be all right. I can always trim it, make it shorter if I think that's too long. And 4 7/8 wide. So I thought rather than, I could use this piece, which is what she advocates doing, except that it would be the wrong way round, wouldn't it? In any case, so that probably isn't ideal to use, but I thought I'd use this piece, which I think is really nice, because that would look really pretty flapped closed here, and it's just a case of which bit of this I use. So let's just have a quick measure. So I need the width to be 4 7/8. That's in inches, so this piece here across here is just almost exactly. That is exactly 4 7/8 wide. Well, that's unusual. That's a bit of a result. I mean, I do love this bit here, but I think I could end up cutting something in half, which 4 7/8 will take me here, which would look a bit odd. So I think actually this piece would probably be ideal, and it is also very pretty. So I think I'll just trim that down. I'm going to have to use the big one again. Maybe I'll do it the other way around. Right, let's trim it off there. I've got that piece. This is the piece I want. And I want it at 6 3/4. So I'm just going to trim off the top bit here. And I'll cut it at 6 3/4. Let's see how it looks. 6 3/4. So that goes there. That's ideal, isn't it? That's almost the whole of that piece. And then, what was the other measurement? 4 7/8. That's there. So that's that bit there. Right, so the idea is that then attaches here and flaps up. In fact, I think I might cut it across here. Then I can put a little tab at the bottom, which I think looks quite nice. Just check. Yeah, I think that'd be all right. Just trim that little piece off. And I'm just going to round the bottom corners. Okay, so that's got to go here. So once again, let's keep this in position. I may have to do it just moving it over to the slightly over, just so that it doesn't catch against my tripod leg. Put that there. Hold that in position, and then I've got to put that up here. Right, I'm wondering whether it'll be easier to actually put my journaling space on here before I attach it. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I think on this one I've got this piece. Let's see how it looks. Piece of coffee dyed paper. It's just a lined paper. I thought I might put that there. Just for something a little bit different. I used some of the jotter pad paper in my other ones, but I thought I'd use this on this one, and I quite like this edge here, so I'm just going to use that. Tear it off here. I think I might just ink all of these bits as well now. Before I stick it down. Don't know how these link. Some of the bits will come off, I think. Just a very light inking, just to give it a little bit of definition around the edge. I might even do a little bit of stamping on here. I've got a beautiful dragonfly stamp that I've not had a chance to use yet, but I just think it might be a bit big to put on here. But we'll see. Let's just ink around this piece as well. I know this isn't the most exciting thing to watch, but it's more difficult to do it afterwards than do it first before I stick it down. Okay, that's that piece. And right, so it's going to go up like that, so that's got to go on here like that. Just going to get a piece of something to glue on. Thin, this paper, so I've got to be a bit careful, otherwise I'll end up ripping it. Oops. Don't tell me I've run out of glue already. I've done quite a lot of gluing in the last few days. I've been backing all the ephemera from the kits that I'm using for the journal. So the two Nature's Remedies kits and the Beautiful Birds kits. You've seen how many tags and bits and pieces there are in those kits, and I've been working my way through them all, trying to back them, and I'm getting through a hell of a lot of glue, as well as a lot of coffee dyed paper and other stuff. But I've nearly finished. So I don't imagine for one moment they'll all go in the journal, but at least then I'll have options. Let's try and get this fairly straight as best I can. Get a card. So I'm debating whether to sew around them all or just sew them when I've decorated the ones I'm actually going to use. Because that'd be another mammoth task, sewing around all those tags. There are so many. Okay, there we are. That's on. Right, so next job is to now. Sorry, oh, that's right. I had to move it over a little bit so that I could attach it and it won't bump into the leg of the tripod. Even now, it's not quite. Is that? Got to make sure it. I'm going to have to take this off. That goes there. Don't want to get it too far over one side or the other. Where's the join? I need to move it over a little way that way. Okay. Twink. Twink. Okay. So this needs to keep still. This one. And this one as well. Keep that in place while I get the I think I'm going to use this one again because I love it. Not that one. Oh, I did think about using that, but for the inside I'm going to use the same one again. If I can find it, there it is. This lovely tickety one. Now, do I need it all the way across? That's what I'm wondering. I wonder whether to just cut it here. And it doesn't need to be the whole way across, I don't think. See what I've done on the other one. What did I do on the one on the prototype? How much have I put on there? I've just done a little piece, so I'm going to do it a little bit wider than that, I think, because it looks a little bit unstable if it's not right, you know, fairly well across, but it doesn't need to be right to the end, I think. I'm assuming that I followed Cori's method fairly closely. And she only put the washi on one side. I think on her one she put it on the outside just because, but she had meant to put it on the inside, but she did her little her little tracing paper flap before she attached it. Oh, it's good. Sorry. Sorry about that. Yeah, she did her little tracing paper flap first, but I'm not going to do that. I've got a different idea. So I've got this. It has curled up a bit because obviously I've now glued it on one side and not on the other side. But I'm hoping that once it's been held in place and closed up for a bit, it will flatten down. So my idea, what I think would be more useful in this one, is to put a little notebook. Simple thing. I've already made it just to get a little bit ahead of myself. If I can find it. There we are. This little notebook. It's got a. So I'll show you what I've used for this. It's a little. This book we found. It was amongst my mother-in-law's various bits and pieces. I've had lots of stuff from her house since we've been clearing it out. It's called a duplicate manifold book. Supplied for the public service. It's because she was in when she worked many years ago. She worked for the civil service, and this was a duplicate. That's where you just write things, and there's a what do they call it, carbons in it, so you can keep copies. So you've got the yellow copy and the cream copy, and it's lovely. It's really thin paper. It's really nice paper, and it's just got that nice kind of slightly aged edge to it as well. It's lovely. And I thought for this, I think for notepads and things, it's ideal because it's so thin. It shouldn't make this little booklet too bulky. So I just got a little collection of both colours, the cream and the yellow, but I thought that would go quite nice in here. I'm hoping the size is about right. If I stick it there, close that up, yes, covers it nicely. I love this. I think this goes so well with the background. Great. Okay, so I've just sewn across it. I just half a dozen pieces of this, I think. I think five or six. Six, I think. You could do what you like, really. And I'm just going to glue it in. So there's the back. Yes, that was the back. See if I can get this glue to come out. This is almost empty, this art glitter glue. I'm sorry, I got a tickle this morning. Is it going to come out? I've got a new one at the ready, just in case. Because yesterday I was using this, it was just flowing out. But I don't know whether it was having a last... Yeah, I think it might have been having a last flurry. Let's try the new one. Woohoo! Yeah, that's coming out. Coming out really well. Quite thickly. Okay, I may have to dab that off a little bit. Get a bit of tissue because it's a little bit too much. Okay. Okay, let's just pop that there. Just right between the washies. Let's just wipe it off. Right, so that's that. It's going to need to lie flat and get that flattened down. So now we need to make our little pockets here. Let's pop that in there for a minute. Get in there. That's it. Right, so I've got the option of using this paper for my pocket. I'll do that, or some more of the other one. I think I'll use this one. I'm going to trim off that brown bit though, because it sort of disappears, and then you can see the edge of it more clearly. Okay, that looks better. And I think I'll just do a curved pocket, I think. Doesn't need to be as high as that. Probably not. Let's have a look at the one I did before. I did it as a square. Oh yeah, okay, square would work. Just with a corner rounder. But I don't know if I need it as high as that, so I'll take it to about here. Let's have a look. So I can see my mark. There it is. I think that's a little bit high. I'm just going to trim it down a bit. Oh dear. Get this back again. How does that look? Yeah, that's all right. Round that corner. And ink it. Right, that goes there. And then she bought another. There goes my phone, as usual, right on cue. Always goes when I'm filming. Excuse me, just need to blow my nose. Okay. Now the other pocket is can either be tracing paper or vellum, but actually I've got quite a few vellum scraps, so I thought I might use a piece of that. And that's quite nice because then you can still see the pattern of the design through. So I'm just going to I've got this scrap from one of the other things I made. Mark that there. And then cut it roughly where the fold is. Is that right? Or is it that way around? No. Still a little bit big actually. Cut it down a little bit more. And ink it. No, first of all I'm going to do the corner. Oop. Get in there. No, it's not gone in. That's better. Okay, and that goes there. Just give that edge a bit of definition, and then we'll so it goes just down those two sides. Ah, that often happens. Little silver top doesn't like to stay on there for some reason. Probably I don't push it down hard enough, I don't know. Okay. Might just put this on separately first and then add the whole thing afterwards. Okay. And then, whoop, a bit more glue. Yep. Then put this on. So actually, I think we're in danger of getting this done in one video. Woohoo! Oh, I think there's a little bit of need to do a little trim there. Just sticking down a little bit at the bottom. Right. We have to do the last bit we have to do is the closure, and that's always, for some reason, the closures are always the bit I find most difficult. I don't know why. I can never make my mind up how to do it or what to use. I think the wedding one, it took me ages to decide to use those hearts. I don't know what I tried, all sorts of different things. Right, so I'll have to weigh this down for a bit. So that's done, that's done. So I've got to go in my pockets, I've already cut out a couple of bits. I've got a journal card here, all cut from the same pad so it all goes nicely. It has got a sort of little green bug on it, but it's not too offensive. I'm just going to keep it simple and use the stuff from the pad, and then that will just pop in here, and then in here I'm going to put a tag, or maybe even two. So I've got this one, So what I would have to do, I think with these, I would probably need to back them because you can't really write on that very easily. So I think I'll use these two, not that one. So I'm just going to use some more of this this paper from the manifold. See if I can get these done. Quickly slick. Right, glue. I just want to cover up. Put the pin in this before it gets too gunky. Right, so I'm just going to cover the back of these, and it's a shame because it's so pretty, but you can't really write on that, so just going to have to back them. And this one. Think about a little topper for these as well, won't I? Get on there. Right. Go around these. It doesn't matter if this is a little bit see-through because, yeah, it's quite nice actually that you can just see through the paper and you get that little pretty design in the background, but it will still, you can still write on it, so that's quite nice, I think. Around here. These may not even need toppers because of the way they're the tops are shaped. It kind of has a sort of inbuilt topper, doesn't it, really? So maybe I'll leave them as they are. Trim them off a bit more. One. Right. Just cut round these last couple of corners. I think that's all right as it is. Okay. So, last quick ink. Just covers up where it might not be perfectly cut round. Cover up all sorts of things with your inking, can't you? And on this side. I don't know if you can see that, but you can just faintly see the design through, which I think really makes it quite rather pretty. Right, So I can pop that in there. I think it's quite nice to have a couple. So that goes in there and that's in there. I've got my little booklet in here and another writing space at the top here. Lots of things to write on in here. You could almost take it out and you know, make observations, I suppose, or something like that. So all I need to do now, and now actually I'm quite glad I've got a reasonably big flap because the way this is bogged up a little bit, you need a reasonable amount here to hold it in place. So I think what I need to do is just cut a piece of this off. It's got to be big enough to hold it in place. Let's try that. So I think which way round do I want to do it? I like that piece there because it's got a little bit like a little little label on there. Is that going to be big enough? Let's see. I think I may have not made it as big as I should have. Let's have a look. We'll try it. I think I made it longer than the last one, but not quite as wide, so it may still work. Let's get... probably got my bone folder here somewhere, but buried, of course. Let's trim that off a bit more. It's doubled over just to give it that strength, the extra strength for holding it down. Right, is that good? Catch. I want to round these corners, I think. I've decided. Hang on. That's one. Oh, that was the pocket as well. That one didn't quite work the first time. So I end up with this funny little ridge, which I just have to tidy up. Right, that's better. That's better without the sharp corner, prefer that. Right, so, and then that piece there. So I need to glue it down. Oop. Whoa. Okay. I've probably put too much glue on now, but I wanted to hold it in place. Ink round. Right, let's see. Which way round? It goes that way round. Will that hold it? I think it will. Put it about there. All right. It's probably about just over halfway. Hopefully it's far enough over to catch it down. I might put let's put this in. I just might put a little mock stud, maybe just there. Let's see what I've got. Use my Nouveau drops. This is in Copper Penny, I think it is. Copper Penny, yeah. I just think it might look like quite nice to have a little you could put a little brad, but my brads, I think the legs are a bit long and they'll show. I think that's what Cori used. I think she put a brad on hers, but her brads had little short legs and mine have got long legs and they'll show. So I thought, let's do a mock one. So it looks like it's got a little brad there, but in fact it's just a blob of crystal drops. So there we have it. It's done. I can't really open it now, but you have seen it. I'm rather pleased with how that's turned out, actually. And we managed to do it in one video. Woohoo! So that's great. I'm really pleased with that. And that's going to go in my bird journal. It'll probably be tucked into something, I suspect. Don't know at the moment how it's going to go in, but I think that's what I'll do. So it can be removed and taken out or written in and things. Right, so thank you very much for joining me. This has gone a little bit over time, but at least we've kept it to one video, so I'm pleased with that. Thank you very much once again, and see you again soon. Bye for now.